What's up, Jet Nation? We are back here with our mock draft video. I am Greenbean, and we are going to get right into it. This is our first mock. So, number one, we pick at pick 11, and I went with Mekhi Becton, who is really becoming my number one offensive lineman, and I think that he is the real deal. Now, just so you know what I'm doing here, I used one of those mock draft simulators, which are just awesome, by the way. And the simulator picks for the other teams, so you could be hoping that you get a guy and he's gone right before you pick. So, yeah, and I'm going to tell you this, Tristan Wirfs was still on the board. The only guy I would have taken over Mekhi Becton is Andrew Thomas, and Andrew Thomas was gone. But I chose Mekhi Becton, the 6'7", 370-pound junior offensive tackle out of Louisville. He is strong, he is smooth, he is fluid, and he gets to he's actually very quick too, much quicker than you would think a guy like that could be. He gets to the second level well, he plays to the whistle, he's got a high motor, and he's incredibly aggressive in run blocking. I think that this guy is going to be one of the better, if not the best, offensive tackle to come out of this class, and I bypassed Tristan Wirfs to grab Mekhi Becton with the 11th overall pick in the first round. Now, for the second round, I had some ideas, and now if you remember, we are picking at number 48. We went ahead and we picked Tyler Biadasz. Now, to be honest with you, I was considering a few other guys. I was going to take Nick Harris, maybe, but he was gone. I was also considering Matt Hennessy, but he was gone. So the idea that Tyler Biadasz is still sitting there at number 48, I couldn't pass it up, and I grabbed him. He's a great leader. For the center position, he runs the offensive line, obviously, and they say he excels at that. Very respected, smart as hell, and plays to the whistle as well, and super strong. And now there's a knock I wrote down for him, which is that he's a little hesitant and needs a half season or so to sit. That's fine. I'm fine with a rookie sitting for a few games. If we have to have Harrison in there starting for the first half of the season, and then we get our center for the next 10 years, not a bad pick at number 48. So far we have Mekhi Becton and Tyler Biadasz to go with Beecham, Lewis, Conklin, Thuney. We're rounding out our offensive line well, and we're creating competition. That's the most important thing. I want competition on my offensive line. So pick number 3, the first of our 2 third-round picks, number 68 came around, and I chose Michael Pittman. I wanted to go wide receiver. I was considering wide receiver in the second as well. The guy I wanted was gone, and like I said, I couldn't pass up Tyler Biadasz. In my opinion, he's not making it to the third round, so I had to grab him. Michael Pittman, on the other hand, was sitting right there waiting for me. 6'4", the guy's a monster. 6'4", high sides the ball very, very well, incredibly aggressive. Fights for the ball, the contested balls, he wins. He's got speed. He's not what we would call a burner, but he's got speed. And the little X factor that I love about him is that he is an incredibly aggressive blocker. He kicks people's butts out there on the field, and I like that. 6'4" wide receiver running around for Sam Darnold. Not bad. And they played together for about a minute and a half at in a former life. So we like that. He's at a USC, just like Sam Darnold. Bring him on over. 6'4", we'll take him all day, every day. So to go with him, the second of our third round picks, number 79, I chose Donovan Peoples-Jones. Love him. Another big wide receiver, 6'2", 208 pounds, out of Michigan. He tracks the ball incredibly well. Very good route running. Tight cuts and all that sort of thing. So now we're bringing in another 6'2" wide receiver to go with our 6'4", Mr. Pittman. And obviously they're going to be running around with Jamison Crowder and Anderson. So we have a nice wide receiver crew. An interesting little side note, somebody wrote me on my Instagram page, which is Greenbean, the Jets fan. They wrote me and they said, hey, why don't you call yourself Beard Bean? And to that I say, I don't know. I don't know why I don't call myself Beard Bean, but it is an idea, and I welcome all ideas. I'll consider it. How's that? And pretty soon we might be talking about this guy named Beard Bean, and we won't know what happened to Greenbean. But for now, let's see what I did for the 4th round. I start to forget this sort of stuff. So we have the 111th pick, I think it is, and this is what I did. I went back to the offensive line, and I chose Calvin Throckmorton. He is another monster, 6'5", 310 pounds out of Oregon. And here's the interesting thing about him. He played 4 different positions on the offensive line, both tackle spots, the center, and right guard. But interestingly, the position that I want him to play is the one position that he didn't play, which is left guard. I want him to sit there behind Alex Lewis or even battle with Alex Lewis for that left guard spot. I don't care if he plays well enough to take it. That's fine. Chances are he's not going to. This guy needs to sit. He needs a little time in an NFL program to really come of age, so to speak. But I love this guy. I think that he's got what it takes to play left guard, and he can play all the other positions. So in the event before he really comes into his own, if we need somebody to come in on some spot duty, now we're building some depth, and we're starting to develop guys to come on in and keep this offensive line of ours strong for years to come. That's what I like. Now, I was considering defense. Greg Williams was over in the corner crying. We told him before that before we even started the draft, we said, listen, man, I'm going to shoot real straight with you. We're going offense in this draft. We may not pick a single defensive player, and you need to cope with that. You need to deal with that. He said he was okay, but he's been in this, he's been in the corner. He's been breaking shit. He's been kicking things and all that, so he's doing his best, but he's not doing a very good job of keeping his feelings quiet. Greg Williams wants some young players to mold himself, and I couldn't believe it. In the 5th round, I was considering this guy with the 4th round pick, and the fact that he's still sitting there for the 5th round, I could not pass him up. I called Greg over and said, hey, we're going to give you a bone here, and we're going to give you a guy to work with for years. He's going to need some time, but we think that he's got what it takes to be a stalwart at the position. For now, he can play some spot duty, some situational pass rushing, but we are going with the edge rusher, the defensive end from Michigan State, 6'4", 260 pounds, Kenny Willekes. That's who we're taking. Again, I was thinking of this guy in the 4th round, and we're grabbing him. This is the first player in Michigan State history to be a walk-on and win MVP, but not only did he do that, he was a walk-on who won MVP twice. Player voted MVP of the team 2 times. Now, last year he had 10.5 sacks and 16 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. Interestingly, they were not the same fumbles. So he had 2 separate forced fumbles and then recovered 2 fumbles elsewhere. So this guy's making an impact. The year before, 2018, he had 20.5 tackles for a loss in 2018. This guy has a high motor. He's a high character guy. He loves the game of football. He's an absolute workhorse animal, and Greg Williams is going to get everything that we can out of this guy. Again, he's not going to come in and dominate as a 5th round pick. It's just not going to happen. But again, I think in the 5th round, this is about as good as we're going to get. I was considering him in the 4th round, like I said, and I think Kenny Willekes, situational pass rusher in 2020, but 2021, 22, 23, this is going to be our guy. We're going to love him, and that's who we're taking with our 5th round pick. Now, we got our last pick of the draft. The 6th round. Again, remember, we got Alex Lewis with our 7th round pick, so we don't have a 7th round pick this year. I'll take Alex Lewis. Without him, we would have been even worse last year. So it was a good trade, especially if we retain him. So we have a 6th round pick. I'm looking at cornerbacks. I'm looking at other edge guys. There is some good ones, but and I was looking at offensive line again. I even looked at a tight end or two. But here's the truth of the matter. I don't think anybody in the 6th round is going to have more impact than the guy I chose, which is the #1 kicker in the entire draft, Rodrigo Blankenship, the 6'1", 190-pound kicker out of Georgia. Now, he had some misses. I think his long was 50, 51, but he's the #1 kicker in the country right now, and I think it's high time that we just went and picked a damn kicker to be on our team for the next 10, 15, 35 years, whatever it is. Blankenship is our 6th-round pick, and I think we did pretty damn well with this draft. If this was the draft that we came home with, I would be ecstatic. So just a brief recap. We had Mekhi Becton with our 11th overall pick. In the 2nd round, we went with Tyler Biadasz, which is going to be called Biadasz. I just know it's going to happen. It looks too similar. First of our 3rd-round picks, we went with 6'4" wide receiver Michael Pittman. The 2nd of our 3rd-round picks, number 79, I was considering KJ Hill, but I chose Donovan Peoples-Jones. Love him, love him, love him. These guys are going to be great additions to our team. In the 4th round, we went back to the O-line with a big monster, versatile player, Calvin Throckmorton. In the 5th round, we felt like we got a steal in Kenny Willekes, a defensive end, 10.5 sacks, 16 tackles for loss in 2019. And with the 6th-round pick, we went ahead and just threw everything to the wayside, and we said we need a damn kicker. We need one. We're tired of these scrubs that we're bringing in, this cycle of scrubs in and out every year. This is the time that we go in and we get our kicker. Blankenship is our dude, and that's the way it's going to go. So we are discussing this ad nauseum. I wanted to tell you guys something. Not only does Jet Nation have a fan forum for Jets Talk, but we have an entire separate area that is just designated for the NFL draft. And there are threads in there, and we have some of the most knowledgeable people. They honest to God, could be GMs. We have guys that, as their career, evaluate offensive linemen, guys like Paradise or Paradise, whatever. I'm sorry, buddy, I don't know how you say it. Batonti or Batonti. Just so many guys in there. These guys are excellent. If you want to learn a thing or two, come on, down to Jet Nation and join our draft forum. If you want to just talk Jets, come on to the Jet Nation fan forum, our Jets Talk forum. You're going to have a good time. Get on in there and get in the conversation, and let's see what we do in about a week when we come back with our crazy draft full of trades. So hope you had a good time. Comment. Let me know what you think, what you hated, what you loved. I'm expecting 100% consensus that this would be the draft to start changing our team. Everybody's going to love this, especially Throckmorton, is what I'm thinking. So with that said, I hope you have a great day. I hope you're enjoying the XFL. Go Jets.